how respectful someone is gonna be, how much respect they can express towards other people, depends on the level of trauma they've gone through, because that affects how much love they can give to themselves and to others, pretty much. The way I think about it is like, think of the ego as a mosaic painting, some kind of a circle, and some parts are damaged, other parts are okay. And there's a lot of energy that goes into maintaining these dysfunctional parts, right? Because they have these dysfunctional parts, they go like memories, limiting beliefs, all kinds of, there's so much love energy that goes into being expressed in a dysfunctional way, pretty much. So it's stuck there. In an argument, how do you know that you're angry because of something valid, or your anger is coming from trauma and the other person didn't do anything wrong and you're responsible for fixing your anger? So I defined two terms here. I would say primary anger and secondary anger, okay? So primary anger, okay? How does that look like? Primary anger is, how do I put it? Okay, so I insulted you, I disrespected you, and based on common sense, based on public opinion, let's say, or public perspective, common sense, my behavior is disrespectful. What I'm saying is, like, if we ask 100,000 people or a million people, about 70 to 80% of people would agree that my behavior is dysfunctional towards you. So I am acting in this way towards you. You get angry at me because I'm acting in a rude way towards you. This is primary anger. This is where your anger is valid. I am actually doing something wrong here, and your anger is a secure, healthy reaction to what I'm doing. And you're gonna set some boundaries or whatever, cut me off. So you're totally right in this one. Sorry about that. An example would be, yeah, in a argument. Let's say you're arguing in a respectful way, or you're talking to me. You want to talk to me about something serious, and you're being very calm and respectful. But I just, for some reason, I have some narcissistic traits or some ego, and I'm the kind of person, let's say, anytime you point out something wrong in me or you ask me to improve, I just get angry and I latch out and I start insulting you. Okay? This is one example. So you didn't do anything wrong. You just came up to me and you told me, hey, I would like to speak to you respectfully. Can you do this and this for me? And can you improve this and that, the other? Or let's talk about this serious topic or that serious topic. And I'm maybe on the avoidance side or on the narcissistic side, and I'm just going to dismiss your feelings or disrespect you or push you away in some way. Okay? So that would be primary anger. Your anger here is completely valid, especially if we ask 100 people. Okay? Something else I wanted to point out here, when it comes to these situations, be very careful when asking your friends about it, okay? Because many people also have friends that are, to say the least, yeah, narcissistic, have some narcissistic traits, or they don't even know how secure behavior looks like, how healthy behavior looks like. So honestly, I wouldn't recommend asking your friends for advice, especially if it's like a romantic situation, a long-term relationship, and especially when you know that your friends have no psychological knowledge and experience. They haven't read any books about uh, how does it look like to have a secure long-term relationship. Especially if your friends are dysfunctional, have dysfunctional patterns, they're always cheating on their boyfriends or girlfriends, all kinds of stuff. Don't ask these people, okay? Especially if your friends like you a lot, they will side with you, okay? So, ask a professional, a coach who's specialized in schemas, attachment styles, okay, like myself, or a therapist who's specialized in schemas and attachment styles and personality disorders, all right? So this is how you know. Or if you want to do your own research, then I'd recommend you really investigate and read deeply about not just one book, not two, many, about dysfunctional patterns, personality disorders, how psychopaths show up, how narcissists show up in relationships and friendships. And look into yourself first, okay? Also, ask yourself, is your partner more or less emotionally unstable than you? If they are less, if they're like the healthier person in the relationship and you have more things to fix, in this case, you shouldn't trust your perception in a long-term relationship or friendship. You shouldn't trust your perception, okay? Oftentimes, when the other person has a higher level of consciousness than you, more emotionally stable than you are, your narcissistic parts, we all have them, will twist reality and will try to make you believe that you are in the right, okay, that you didn't do anything wrong, that they are bad, simply because parts of you don't really want to acknowledge that the person that you're with is actually a healthy person and you're the one reacting in a bad way. So in this case, and in all cases in general, I really recommend professional opinion. A coach specialized in this stuff or a therapist, okay? Don't ask your friends and don't ask yourself. That would be the first go-to thing. Even me, as a coach, even me, I'm super educated in this stuff. Even me, I have a psychology degree. Even me, if a friend of mine comes up to me and he's like, oh, my girlfriend is acting in this and that way, I still have a little bit the tendency to, because he's my best friend, I still have, and I have to be very aware of these biases, the tendency to be like, okay, yeah, as soon as I finish listening to this, I'm gonna check if my friend is right and how can he be right and how can this other girl be crazy. Okay, I am less susceptible to this because I'm teaching this, I know a lot about this, I know about my biases and all that, but still, you see. So asking a coach, hiring a coach or professional to help you figure out all this stuff is the number one go-to option. We're gonna talk about the other options in a second. The other options would be read about psychopaths, personality disorders, narcissists, all this stuff. Check in yourself if you have these patterns first before you put labels on your partner. Fix that, and then you can have a much clearer perception of the situation. But as you go through these books about narcissists and psychopaths, look at yourself first. Look at yourself first. Ask your partner, especially if you think they are, or friend, they are more stable emotionally. They're more emotionally stable than you are. Ask about their opinion. Show them the list of red flags and literally ask them if you really want to do this properly, okay? If you want to be a narcissist and if you want to be crazy and destroy all of your relationships, do the opposite of what I'm saying. Okay. I'm telling you here from personal experience of having had narcissistic tendencies in the past. I don't have full-blown NPD, but like everyone with the dysfunctional attachment style, we have dysfunctional narcissistic traits to some extent. I'm sharing with you options that are beneficial from personal experience, okay? If you want to do this right, if you want to do things right. Okay, so now that's primary anger. I do something wrong that your coach, your therapist, 1,000 people, or based on all the books you read, my behavior is dysfunctional and based on your gut feeling, okay? Provided your gut feeling, your perception is cleansed first by healing yourself first or asking a professional or a coach. Primary anger. I do something to you, you react with anger. Your anger is completely valid because I'm disrespectful or I'm gaslighting or I'm just expressing some kind of a red flag kind of behavior. Okay, so that's primary anger. You're totally right. Okay, so that's number one. Number two. Sorry guys, I'm still sick. But we gotta make some videos, right? Secondary anger. I'm not acting in any disrespectful or dysfunctional way. I'm acting normal. I scratch my head and you get angry. This is a silly example, but you know what I'm talking about. I come up to you and I would like to just talk about psychology. And in the middle of the conversation, you get very angry because I'm sharing my opinion about the ego or personality disorders or whatever. I talk about the weather. And as I'm talking about the weather, you just have anger coming out of you for no reason. We didn't have a fight yesterday. I didn't insult you a week before. A good example would be, we just met. It's our first encounter. It's our first date. It's our first date. Right? A very good example would be, yeah, let's just say I'm 30 seconds late for the date. Let's say I'm 2 minutes late. I text you before. I'm like, hey, sorry, I'm gonna be 2 minutes late, but I'll be there. I'm coming. I'm very interested in you. I don't mean to be disrespectful in any way. So I do my job. I do my part. Okay? I show up on the date and you're already extremely angry. Why? Because a part of you, it could be applied to business meetings or whatever you want, friends. A part of you, there could be many different causes, but let's take one pattern of an example, okay? A part of you felt not good enough. A part of you thought, oh, he thinks I'm not attractive enough. That's why he showed up late. If I was attractive enough for this guy, he would probably do everything right to show up on time. Secondary anger is when you're reacting out of trauma. The other person didn't do anything wrong. Your anger is not justified. It's not valid. and it is your job to manage it. It's your job to own it, and it's your job to apologize for it. The problem is that with secondary anger, most people project it onto others. They don't own it. They don't apologize for it. They really, literally believe that the other person is wrong. I scratch my head. You have some kind of like dysfunctional, traumatic pattern from the past. I do this. I touch my hair. I touch my bun. I touch my long hair like this. I touch my beard. And you get angry. And you go full blown like insulting me and going crazy. Here, you are wrong. Okay, here you're wrong. And as a quick side note, how do you fix this? How do you catch this? Well, it starts with awareness. Every time you have a seemingly, an argument, what appears to be a negative interaction to you, okay? You really have to, every single time you have an argument with someone, sit with yourself and you check what's going on. I'll give you some exercise, right? I'll give you some exercise in the video later on how to do it, but or maybe I could give it right now so I don't forget about it. I mean, I already have my notes here, but yeah. So I didn't do any, this is secondary anger. Just to summarize, and then I'll give you the process. I didn't do anything wrong. You get angry for no reason, okay? Because you're past, okay? How do you know who's right or wrong? Again, it starts with awareness. How do you know that your anger is primary anger or secondary anger? How do you know if I am right or you are right or you're right? Okay. Well, the first step is awareness. So record. I'm telling you, man, if you don't do this, it's never going to get fixed. Record. Write down the arguments. Especially the second the argument got heated and you got angry at the other person. The second the anger started. You write down, you don't have to write down the whole memory. So you're going to have a journal. And you write down bullet points. So the first, so you can close your eyes, get back to the memory. And your ego is not going to let you do this because you want to be right. But let me tell you something. You're going to lose a lot of people if you don't fix this. I'm helping you out here. Do this, okay? It's going to work for you. Write down in one sentence, I got angry, because... And write down why did you get angry. What did the person say? The second the anger came up, what did they say before that? What did they do? Write down what they did. Okay? Not what you think they did, what they actually did. Did they just like scratch their head like this or touch the beard? Or I don't know, just like... Or did they just say hi and you got angry? Okay. Write it down. And you're going to have a journal of this. The second you got angry, every time you get angry at someone, you have an argument or what appears to you as an argument, write it down. In general, every time you experience anger, write it down. And let me tell you something else. Your ego is going to make you forget about this exercise. So put it in a calendar. If you have a calendar, put it in your calendar. Every single day, at the end of the day, you're going to sit with yourself and reflect on your day. And did you get angry at somebody today or not? Okay? Because if you take this exercise and you do it like willy-nilly, like... you know, like once a month, it's not gonna work. Also, when it comes to awareness, you have to train it. So at the end of the day, you sit with yourself and you scan the day. Ego's gonna be tricky here too. Oh, I mean, I was just a little bit angry. It wasn't that bad. I felt better afterwards. So this is avoidance and suppression of the problem. You're not gonna fix anything if you do this. So you can also make a list of all these defense mechanisms I'm talking about. You could run my video through AI or whatever and just summarize it and whatever, if you want. So you have a list on your journal, you have a list of all the tricks that your mind is going to play on you to not do this exercise. And then you have, like, at the end of each day, you have a reminder. You could put an alarm on your phone, reflect on the day, and check when you got angry and when you didn't get angry, okay? So that's number one. Number two is you write down the memories, like I told you. The second you got angry, and just right before the anger came up, what did this person do to you or say to you? Okay, what did they do to you? What did they say to you? All right, sometimes what they did or said, they did it maybe yesterday or an hour before the argument. Write that down, it's fine. But just start with examining your anger during the argument the second it came up. This is very important. Most arguments start, boom, just like this. So we have two types of memories here, okay? Things that made you get angry during the conversation in the moment, and things that maybe the other person said or did like a week ago, a month ago, few minutes, few hours ago. You can also make two columns for these two different types. Okay, so now that you became aware of the pattern, now that you're tracking your pattern, even just by doing this, you'll become much more aware of your anger. And just this awareness is going to bring about insight into the anger and release most of it, maybe some of it or most of it. Depends on how much anger you got. And it depends on the causes. All right? And the roots of it in the past. So this is how to become aware of whether you're experiencing primary and secondary anger. And nobody's perfect. Even secure people can experience secondary anger. Secure people can have schemas and attachment issues also. I don't think I've ever met someone who's just like a robot, like 1000% secure. When we're talking about secure people, it's like, it's a myth, I have never met in my entire life someone who's 1000% secure. It never really happened to me. I don't know if they do exist or not. Even me, myself, I didn't start off secure. Okay. So I am with you on this. You're not alone. We all got patterns. Even me, myself, I still got patterns I'm working on as a coach. Okay. And even my mentors, my coaches and therapists, the people that I met throughout the years and I worked with, and they healed me and they did some work on me and my mind or my business or whatever. Even these people, they still got patterns they're working on. We're all trying to improve. So that's the first thing you need to understand. If you have anger and you hate your anger when it comes up, that's a completely different story, right? Then we're talking like maybe BPD, maybe narcissism, because These people, they hate experiencing imperfection, okay, in themselves. So then you gotta deal with the self-hate around the anger when it comes up. And yeah, you need professional help for that. You need a coach or you need professional help for that. So, but if you have just anger, you don't hate yourself for being angry. Maybe you hate yourself a little bit. Maybe you're disappointed a little bit. That's fine. If it's like extreme hate, then yeah, that can be more like on the extreme dysfunctional side. Okay, guys, so we got primary anger where sorry. We got primary anger where you I did something wrong and your anger is valid. And we got secondary anger where I didn't do anything wrong and your anger is coming from trauma from the past. And my behavior, from a common sense, from a public opinion kind of perspective, from a common sense perspective, from a professional therapist, coach perspective, my behavior is completely right. It's normal. And your anger is just a projection, okay? Now, when it comes to your journaling practice, something else that you can do, an advanced step is, now after you got, so you got your memories, you became aware of that, just do that for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks or so. And then what I want you to do is this is how you know if you're right or wrong, okay? If you're right or wrong, if your anger is valid. Sometimes maybe you're not angry. You think that the other person is wrong and you're trying to correct their behavior. You're trying to even share some self-help advice. Maybe you're angry, maybe not. So now in this video, we're getting into the territory here of understanding if your anger is valid or not. But also maybe you don't have anger. You come up to the person trying to fix them. Where now I'm gonna show you how to check if you are right or wrong with or without anger. Okay? Maybe you're completely respectful and you're asking for your needs, or you think that you're asking for some healthy kind of needs or boundaries. Well, now we're checking if you're right or wrong. Okay? Now, let's check, guys. Again, the first option is a coach or a therapist. Always. Because these things, especially if you're not experienced, if you're not an experienced coach or therapist yourself, these psychodynamic patterns, these unconscious patterns are very difficult to understand by yourself, even if you read 1,000 books. Okay. So it took me almost 10 years working on myself with clients, helping friends, family with all kinds of behaviors to get to this level where I could understand. And I still am not a master at this. I can help people with what I can help with. And that's it. You see. So be very careful with doing this work alone by yourself. Yes, some inner work can be done alone. Maybe do some shadow work, all this stuff. But when it comes to arguments, conflicts, anger, trying to fix other people's behavior, with or without anger, this can make or break your relationships. This can make you lose people around you. And you really need to understand whether you're losing the right person, the wrong person, or the right person. Okay, and you don't want to regret anything afterwards. But again, if you want to do this alone, if you are fairly stable emotionally, then yeah, you can, or you can also have a coach or a therapist, but still do this exercise. So what's the next step after you get these memories? Let's say we have a memory where you got angry at me and you out on a date. First time, we went home together. This is the next day, right? So let's just say you're working. on your laptop at home. Let's imagine you're working from home, okay? And I text you out of the blue. I text you, "Hi, I'm next to your house. Are you here?" Actually, this happened to me, yeah. It was quite creepy, man. I mean, most people would agree that this is extreme, right? Or maybe not extreme, but just extremely anxious kind of behavior, okay? Now, some people watching this video, maybe they are this person, okay? And maybe now you got an insight into your behavior. Or maybe you're behaving in this way, but in different contexts, in different ways. Maybe not in the same exact way that I described, but in different contexts and situations. So, how now? Let's say I say, "Hey, sorry, I'm sorry, I don't want to meet today." No, you say to me, right? I'm the one being weird, right? You say to me, "Sorry, I don't want to meet today. Like we just it's the first time we meet, and yesterday, and it's just like you're just too close, you know. And can you please not show up in front of my house, just like randomly, like you know, like it's you know, I some privacy and it's a little bit creepy and stuff. We just met yesterday the first time, so chill out." So you say this to me, okay? Now I get angry. I get angry. I latch out. How can I work? So if I were to journal about this, I would just write down, "I got angry because you, Mr. or Mrs. Viewer, you asked for a boundary. I showed up in front of your flat." So I write down this whole situation, right? And you respectfully set a boundary, but I got angry. How do I work with this now? No, the advanced technique that I'm talking about is, what do I do? I'm gonna sit with myself in meditation. I can close my eyes. I jumped to the second when my anger came up. Okay? I can see myself in the memory latching out, getting angry, insulting, whatever. Now, I ask myself, what happened? What did the other person do that made me angry? Oh, I showed up in front of their. This is my perspective, right? I'm a very loving person. I really love them. I like them so much. I want to show them how much I love them. Unconsciously, I'm not aware of how a healthy, normal development of relationships, especially romantic, should happen from a common sense perspective. So I'm just giving so much from the start. I don't see that my behavior is wrong in any way. All of this is unconscious, by the way. But again, so to get back to the main thing, I ask myself, so what did the other person do? What made me angry? Oh, I showed up in front of their house. Okay. Now, the next step is the advanced technique I'm talking about, which is metacognitive awareness. So now I switch roles. I become you. I am you. I am the one working on my laptop at home, and you are the one who is exhibiting my anxious behavior. You showed up, and I literally imagine this. putting myself in your shoes and you in mine, and then I imagine this. I imagine the memory, I flip the memory. I switch the roles and I just play it again. And I ask myself, pause the memory the second I am receiving what appears to be, we're not sure yet, but what appears to be the dysfunctional behavior. You could also do this with me, right? As you're watching this video, you could do it with eyes open if you have something that happened to you recently, or you think that you are the one doing something to somebody, something dysfunctional. You could pause here and there and just do the steps, right? So I flip roles and I pause. It's very important. In your mind's eye, pause. Look at the second you're at the receiving end of what appears to be a dysfunctional behavior. Receive it, and then I would receive it, or you would receive it, and then I would ask myself, how does this feel? How does it feel like to me? Is this normal? Is this okay? And some anxiously attached people on the extreme side of anxious attachment, man, they would maybe convince themselves that, yeah, I would love to have someone, anyone, I would love to have someone love bomb me in that way. Like, I'm so lonely, you know? Like, I love loving people. No. No. If your mind is playing these tricks on you, then I want you to imagine that I am someone that you met. Let's say we slept together, but you just didn't like me after. You just don't want to see me anymore. This is good. Now, from this perspective, I show up in front of your house the next day. And you made it clear to me that you don't want to meet again, respectfully. Still, I show up in front of your flat. All right? Now it's a little bit more clear, I guess. And you ask yourself the question, how does this feel like to me inside my body? Is it normal? Is it healthy? Is it okay? And you apply this to everything else. If I scratch my head and you get angry, then yeah. Of course, human relationships, social dynamics are quite... many things are very subtle, but this is how if you want to do it by yourself, this is how you do it. If you do this consistently, you will transform so many patterns by yourself, like literally. Okay, guys, so do your journaling, get a coach. If you don't know what to do, then you could work with me. Link in the description below. So there's a link to my calendar. You could book a consultation and we could talk about your patterns. Whatever kind of patterns you got. If they're affecting your dating life, your friendships, or your business relationships, comment down below. The comments help the channel grow, and they help these videos reach more people. So if you want more people to benefit from what I'm talking about, if you think it's useful, it's deep. I think it's deep. So if you like my stuff, yeah, help the journey to grow. So leave a comment. If you're gonna leave a like, try to leave a comment if you want. Okay, it's gonna help me out. So yeah, of course, I need your help to grow this channel, right? I want to help more people. I really want to help more people. I think I have a lot of experience in this, and I want to help more people with this content. So yeah, check out the description. There's I'm also building a Instagram and a TikTok account. So You can go and follow me there if you want. If you want to watch some shorts and some new ideas. That would be it for today. Thanks so much, and see you in the next one.